below that, there's so much happening, and I don't know if I can make my prediction right now, but we finally have our game underway, so we can start talking about that instead.
Finally got our game indeed, guys. Azure Esports, his team Atelier. We've waited long enough for it, and finally we start our first semi-final of the APAC South region. And who can come out on top? Well, Azure Esports looking like the favourite. Can Atelier get the upset to send themselves to a monumental final for them? Azure Esports, they think they're deserving, but will they show it on the pitch today?
And already a lot of pressure onto Team Atelier. We talked about how consistent across the field Azure can be, so that attacking pressure is only one side of their game. They have that defense down pat as well, and they're showing it now as Bunny Dummy takes it off of that backboard. Now it is going to be Zane. He's the player that we said to look out for on Team Atelier. He is that surprise factor, but the rest of his team backing him up so well. We already talked about that practice out of Jarrell Nathan. It's been paying off. He's really, really showing up right now, and he's been everywhere for them. If any player was going to rival them across the pitch, it's going to be the pair of them, apparently, as Jarrell Nathan gets a pass down to Zane.
Able to find one, Atelier. 1-0 start, and it's Zane, the man who we've really got our eyes on in this series, getting that early goal. Azure Esports starting off in the back foot, the defense not looking the best right there. That should have been a shot saved, to be totally honest. Slipping past the defender like that should not have occurred, but here's Claus. Unable to get that touch on it, Arya will take it high. Challenged well by Squiggly and off to the side to Zane. As he brings that ball in centre, Bunny Dummy is looking lost in the pitch, and Atelier gifted a goal right there, and Azure Esports looking confused.
Actually really well controlled by Team Atelier, though. That pass in was rapid, and Bunny Dummy wasn't expecting it to get to Arya that quickly, I don't think. Had to really slam on the brakes if he wanted to stop that cutting in behind his car, and as soon as it did, it was a guaranteed goal there for Team Atelier. It is an enormous start for the underdogs here as Team Atelier come in 2-0 right now. Maybe 3, Jarrell Nathan.
Crazy! Azure Esports, what is going on? The defense is an absolute shambles. It's the thing I really complimented them on earlier, but Team Atelier taking full advantage. 3-0, 90 seconds in, and off to a flying start in game number 1.
And we talked about the fact that Azure did get a fairly easy run up the bracket, so, you know, maybe those shots just didn't have the crackle on them that Team Atelier are showing right now. I mean, there is some good power on these. The passing is fantastic, and they're getting inside that defense fairly well. Maybe better than those lower teams that they faced in the qualifiers were able to display against them, and that could be a big reason that you see these stats maybe blow out a little bit incorrectly as well. I mean, don't get me wrong, I personally believe that Azure are one of those most consistent teams across all aspects of their game, but they're not showing it right now.
Oh,
and
what a
perhaps
save
they
by
wouldn't have as consistently shown that had they been up against teams like this originally, but Arya taking another one. 4-0 up. This is blowing out fast. Azure need to put a tourniquet on this.
That initial save from Arya was so kind of just really great at stopping the attacker coming in. Because that was probably going to be a goal for, I think it was Squiggly who was diving into that top corner, but Arya slams it to the ground right in front of him there. A really dangerous place, but he seen no one was there and able to get the counter-attacking goal off of it. But not even half the game gone by, and Team Atelier 4-0 up. This is looking like they're getting to take easily. Now it's 5. What is going on?
This is so hard to watch. I mean, Azure, so much confidence. And Jarrell Nathan told me that he was going to try and win this today. He had confidence, but I did not think that that confidence was going to lead to a 5-0 before halftime. We're still 2 seconds before halftime. I'm not wrong in saying that. As Team Atelier are just absolutely annihilating this first half. They might even be able to continue it, but Squiggly is going to hang himself up to dry in the goal there, and Azure need to get themselves together so desperately. A 6th goal. Team Atelier are just running away with this game so massively right now.
This game is already done for Atelier. They've already won this game, let's be totally honest, but how Azure came into this in such a disappointing fashion is so confusing to me, but it's not even, it's been just about half a game, and Atelier 6-0 up. I'm now curious. Now it's 6-1, okay, Azure thinking something, but I'm just curious how these other games are going to progress, because I don't see any chance really Azure coming back here. But for games 2 and onwards, will they be able to pick up the pace and really fight back against Atelier?
Yeah, I remember our first 2 games from Azure in their bracket yesterday. They took a while to warm up, and it is a classic symptom of Asia that these warm-up matches, I mean, it shouldn't have taken them 2 last time, and it better not this time, because it's very, very likely that 2-game lead here could give Atelier the confidence they need to take this out. I mean, it should have been scary to them yesterday, and I'm sure it was, but they should not be letting it happen again. Bunny Dummy does take away the chance of seeing our second Brazil of the tournament, though, as he strikes that pretty well. Good placement there, and a demo just making sure that the goal box had that pressure on them.
See, so I don't want to ever call a, comeback in this kind of situation of a team being 6 goals down. I would never. But if they somehow do it, and that might be going in as well. Oh no. Okay. So if Azure somehow make a 6-goal comeback, every single insult and complaint I have made about this team in this game is completely revoked because what on earth is going on. It is now 6-3. There's still a minute 40 seconds left. It is actually possible, but surely there's no way.
No, you need to stop talking. There's no way. And yet they're doing it. I mean, another attacking opportunity blocked away, but Clausey looking like he finally has some confidence. I mean, we actually are in a situation where we could see it. There's enough time for 3 goals quite happily here, but it's insane what a change we've seen in a matter of seconds from Team Azure. This isn't the kind of change. This isn't the kind of change in a game that we saw out of Azure last series that we watched them in. It had to take them going away to a break and readjusting and reevaluating what they were doing. Suddenly, they're looking like they can do that mid-game. Maybe it's just good communication, good preparation, and good training, but they are on this. And another shot there, Zane, with such a crucial save there.
Either way, no matter how this game ends, an incredibly confusing game number 1, but 6-3 the scoreline will lie, and Azure almost certainly not going to get the comeback with this little time left. I didn't think they would either, but now definitely not. But going into game number 2, they've built that momentum up and maybe feeling a lot more confident having those kind of last 3 goals in their favour. Maybe they'll be feeling a bit better about it. That's a big clear up field. Claude might tap it in. It will be saved, and the follow from Squiggly will find the back of the net. 2 goals, 24 seconds. A difficult task, possible, but Atelier, I feel like it would be a big enough lead to be fine.
And now I'm going to point out the unlikely, but there is just enough time that this is still doable for Azure. We've seen how quickly they can pull ahead. 24 seconds, 2 goals. It's a goal line that we've seen already this match. More than once, I would say, actually, even. And it's doable, but not if Gerald Naden gets control like this. They need to score now and look so quickly.
Zane.
There's a good chance Aria can't get good control on that. Clausy's available, but it's going to get chased away. One last opportunity to put one away, but it's going to have to go to ground now with 0 seconds on board. Nothing can be done. Team Atelier taking game 1 in such a shock.
A dangerously sloppy save from Atelier, but they do hold on and they take game number 1. Oh, that was an intense game. It shouldn't have been intense because it was 6-0, but somehow it became like really weirdly close by the end.
Yeah, really weirdly close. I'm going to have to take a look at the scoreboard coming up here because it is really like you said, a bizarre version of close there. Look at those shots. Look at those saves. Look at Team Atelier. 3, 4, and 1. That's a huge amount of saves to the 1 Azure put out there. Their defense was lacking for the entirety of that. I thought maybe it had picked up, but it was just covered by the fact that they had such good aggression in that last half.
13 shots to 9 in favour of Azure, yet 6 goals in favour of 4 for Atelier. They were scoring their shots at the start of the game, and I wouldn't say that was just Azure having a kind of bad start and not being warmed up to their fullest. I think now the series quality as a whole is going to improve drastically. I say that being hopeful as well because the game 1, though intended it was, it started off absolutely horrific in terms of gameplay quality. It got a bit better as time went on, but oh, that was bad.
Yeah, but I mean, we're in Asia. This is going to happen at least for a little while longer. These game ones are always the most questionable part of a series, and questions were all we had. That was, like you said, an incredibly confusing series. Game, sorry, for the first of our series here. It would be one of the most bizarre series I've ever casted if this continued for the rest of it. I don't expect it to, though. I mean, we saw how much Azure had to pick up in that last series yesterday. I do expect that maybe that's a consistent thing they're going to show, and we saw them in those stats show consistency across their gameplay as well. So maybe all of those stats are coming out of game, 3 to 6.
Potentially so. What we're going to see as we get ready to head into game number 2. Can Azure Esports bounce back from the disappointing start that they've had, or will Atelier keep their streak of winning alive? It's going to be a tough ask for Azure, but Atelier, certainly a team who I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe struggle a little bit as time goes on, but this is a hard one to call now.
It is. I mean, it really does make me question my decision to put my vote there for Azure, but game 2 I think is going to be a big prover. I don't expect it to take Azure as long as it did yesterday to warm up. They can't let that happen consistently, or there's no chance of them winning against the higher end teams. Now, Clawzy trying to prove us right here from that ceiling corner, finally displaying at least some early game defense here already.
Oh, is that ball? Can he get cleared out to the side? Bernie Dummy looks for the bump. Does not get the ball just yet, but here's Claus. Off to the backboard, going to be cleared away. Quickly can bring it back in centre. A chance for an early goal for Azure, perhaps, as they have all the pressure at the moment. They're losing that possession now to Zane and Aria. And they send that one to the backboard. It's up to Squiggly. Huge cleared up field. And a follow-up touch would be sublime. Won't find it, but the demo's good enough. But that shot's off the post. The ball from Claus is going to be saved as well. And Jarl and Aiden keep Atelier even.
Oh, that is brutal. That is a goal that has to go in at this level. You're in the top 4 right now for your regional RLCS. You can't miss that, but Clawzy strikes back. It's redemption for him there as he brings that home off of that chip out from Jarl Nathan. He's going to be disappointed that he couldn't get that cleanly to control of Atelier, and as a result, they do lose that first goal.
1-0 start for Azure. Minute gone by off the clock, and they do take the lead. They have seemingly bounced back from that initial game 1 showing. Here's Jarl Nathan that will try and make this an equaliser. Oh, a good save there by Claus, but still dangerous position. Bernie Dummy out to the side, and Claus to help him clean that ball away. Will be exactly what Azure need to do. That ball getting sent back upfield with Jarl Nathan to continue the reign of an attack. It won't work out just yet. Azure hold on, and they keep their lead alive.
And now it's going to be Squiggly being able to push that upfield. The upfield passing plays that we saw a few of from Azure in their last series haven't really been reaching their mark so far, and it's going to affect this early part of the series particularly, unless they can get on top of that. A good clear away from that backboard as well as the pass goes up. It's going to come off the backboard. Good opportunity for Squiggly. He finds the back of net.
2-0 for Azure. They extend their lead, and it is all Claus there. The pure aggression on the backboard is something I've asked from so many teams. It's to bump and demo, eliminate the defense, and Azure are doing it to an absolute T. We've seen the stats earlier. They've got one of the highest demo per game count, and this is what's paying off for them. That might be another goal for Bunny Dummy. It will off the crossbar, bounce down, be a goal. Azure Esports 3-0 up.
Yeah, Squiggly got under that so well, put it off the crossbar. I'm sure it was looking for a shot, but it worked well for Bunny Dummy as Zane just couldn't read the play cleanly enough to push that out of goal. And it's starting to look a little bit like our game 1, but from the wrong side here, as you're really coming back strong in this game too. I did say that they couldn't let what happened in the first series that we saw them in yesterday happen again, where they needed to show that consistency, and they're starting to now. It is an absolutely expected thing out of Asia that you see that warm-up game, but that was a particular display.
That was a different kind of warm-up game. That was they didn't show up for the first game, for the first maybe half of it. Here's Zane now. I pass it to Aria. Atelier, we're looking to try and mount some sort of a comeback to even build up the momentum going into game number 3. As 3-0 down is a very foreign position for him to be in after that game number 1. Bunny Dummy will get the save. Rolling around that side of wall is to Aria. Tapping it high. The ball past one. Potentially past another.
Oh.
Claude can't find it. And Zane, a great shot on him. I will say we had a question about Zane. He's been performing very well so far.
Yeah, but so much control out of Aria there. I mean, he did all of the work there. Zane chose a good angle to fire it in, but you've got to give that goal to Aria. That is a massive, massive touch that he managed to make there under the ball at the lowest part of the map that he could, just to get that pass in. It was an incredible play to trust the teammate to be there for as well.
Up the side where the ball will rise quickly.
Oh.
Trying to leak that one into net. Azure Esports lead will remain at 2 for the time being. Jarl Naden gets a great bump and a pass back as well. Aria tries to make it work. He gets a pass and sends it over to Zane. He takes it low. Can he recover in time? Oh, Claude barely makes it. But that was a great bit of teamwork there from Atelier. The bump to the pass to another pass as well. I like to see more of that, and they will definitely result in goals eventually.
Bunny Dummy sending that at net again. There's been a couple lackluster. Oh, there's a double commit. That could be really, really brutal. But they do have Bunny Dummy back in time. That was very crucial that they recover from that and move into rotation quickly. They have been able to do so, but now they need to get back control. But Zane is too fast for them. This series is evening up. It's 3-2.
Things are heating up in game number 2. Azure Esports 3-goal lead has quickly became 1. Atelier only trailing just by a hair. 3 to the scoreline for Azure Esports. To tie up the series, they need to win this game. But Atelier is not making that an easy task. It's inching ever so closer to getting that game to win and sending them 2-0 in the series.
Good touch up towards the ceiling. Jarl Naden faking that he was going to challenge that himself as he lets Aria come through. That's good communication out of them there to pull him out of that play and make sure that the player who could get that momentum really did come up quickly. Now a pass to Zane. Zane has been so deadly in his opponent's half, and that's really where he is belonging within the team right now. Jarl Naden, I was trying to make this point early in game 1, is the man who runs that upfield. He has that consistent play across the field more probably than Zane does. Zane is the goal hitter. He is the finisher. He is the garbage man, taking out the trash, but he needs to do it one more time for them to even this game, and there's 10 seconds left on it. Squiggly now gonna follow this to the wall. Out now from Jarl Naden with no boost. Can he challenge Bunny Dummy? No. There was a teammate that came in a little too late. There's a good touch to keep this in the air. 0 seconds is upon us. Does it find ground? No, there's an opportunity, but no teammates available. They couldn't take us to overtime.
If someone was there ready for the ball, it would have been a goal for Atelier, but just not there in time. And they've got the Atelier players on your screen. Left the cams on, but that was a close game too, and now we have a tied up series. This is more what I was expecting, a closer game, a tied series. Things are getting close.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to see those player cams up finally on our 3rd day here. We've got to look in at these players. I know there's a few people pretty keen to have gotten in there. I know Squiggly yesterday, we saw his camera. He bought that specifically for this tournament. So yeah, really, really seeing a lot of these players coming in with some excitement, and we saw it that game. You said that it was going to heat up. You said that we were going to see some more consistency, and I agreed with you. We absolutely did. They proved us right.
It's striker man Zane with the 2 goals for Atelier, trying to bring them back into it. He's been a man on a mission in the striking department. But can his teammates facilitate that? Well, they've done a pretty good job so far, I would say. Aria, Jarl Naden offering some good passes. But that game, it was the defense where things were lacking to begin off. The 3-goal concession was not the good way to start. I think that's happened for both teams now, that an early kind of load of goals going in, it just makes it almost impossible to make the comeback.
Yeah, and I mean this is a good lesson for anybody in Asia that the losing team here, it was all down to that defense. I mean, you can play as well as you want, you can be as mechanical as you want, you will get caught. That is a matter of practice. If you have the game sense, if you can have the staying power to make sure that you are consistent on defense and attack, that's where you benefit. That's where you show yourself as the potential top team in Asia as the seasons move forward, as even these regionals move forward.
That might slip in already, but Azure can't make them intense saves to start off this game. 2 just almost slipping by on the line, but they do keep it even to start things off, and it's Squiggly looking for that clear away. Sent back in by Ari off to the backboard. Charles Naden now back down to Ari, 50-50 in front of net, have the claws to get it away, and he'll do exactly that, pushing it upfield and sending Atelier to the back line.
Yeah, and I noticed a defensive bump there as well, which was good to see. In Friday, we saw barely any bump or demo play at all. We saw it start to heat up a little bit on Saturday, but it's really been fairly threadbare in a region that's traditionally very, very aggressive. I think it might be the nerves, but coming up to your third day in RLCS, they have to start subsiding. You have to stop seeing this as the most special, the only opportunity that you'll ever get, because you know that you've made this now and you know that you can do it again. You have to display that consistency now and that aggression, and now it's going to be a free goal put away by Squiggly. Just one touch pushing that all the way upfield, no boost on it.
Able to just walk that ball in, one defender left to beat. Easily bet as well. 1-0 start for Azure, and we talk about these teams having these future chances. Of course, there are still 2 other regionals to take place in this split alone. There's in 2 weeks' time another one, and then 2 weeks after that there will be the third and final for the fall split. So plenty of time, and all these teams will also qualify for the regionals as well, placing in that top 8 in this main event. So they have plenty of chances to redeem themselves and fight harder and harder. This is not their last chance. Give it their all today. Try something new if you need to. Be more creative. That's a good attempt by Azure. Almost gets a bump on Charles Naden, but defended well by Atelier. But they still need to do a lot of work in this defensive half because the shots keep on coming and they're not getting any easier to save.
And let me remind you, if that first game seemed like a fever dream, that this is an even series right now. So it's an important one here for one of these teams to get ahead again. They're looking to try and make some room here for error, and neither of them have it right now. Clausey pushing up. Atelier is 1 behind as well, so they are even more behind on this and under more pressure here to perform. They need to bring this back. They are the underdogs, and now Gerald Naden cannot get that second touch to push out. Azure Esports is on top of it. Nearly the center there. Clausey challenges, but it goes very far from him there. Big whiff. But there's the shot. Bunny Dummy, an incredible save.
Up to the corner, Bunny Dummy. Well, trying to get the touch away, dribbling upfield, going to be challenged, and to the stealing the ball will go. Claus. Huge flick off to the backboard. Atelier. Only 1 goal down at the moment. They can't make the comeback here. If they can just push that ball up, here's going to be Aria to try. Finds the pass over to Zane, 50-50. Will go towards net. Squiggly's touch will not be found. It's a good chance to develop for Atelier. Can they push that ball in? Will Jarl Naden with no boost is going to really struggle here. Bunny Dummy attempting to clear. Shot down by Aria in centre once more. And Zane to continue. Back to Jarl Naden. Atelier full control in the Azure half. But can they make any impact from it? Azure holding on with 1 goal lead. Will that remain?
Well, they've done very, very well to hold the lead so far. They're showing some of that staying power I was talking about right now, but they need to put that up to a 2-goal buffer. You can never be safe on 1 goal, because even coming down to 0 seconds, that can change. Oh, it's nearly changed there already by Bunny Dummy, but he will have to go away, pick up some boost. What an angle! That's going to be in by Claus. He just slips it past everybody. Threaded that needle.
Technically feels like it should have been saved, but an insane angle nonetheless. Just slips by the post, and it will go. And Atelier drop to a 2-goal deficit. 2-0 to Azure Esports. 90 seconds on the clock. If they take game 3, they will take the lead in the series, heading up to 2-1, and that's best of 7. One more win after that, which isn't the match point, and be a very, very comfortable position. We expect this team to make the finals. They may have had a bad start, but they're certainly picking things up, and I am pleasantly impressed.
Big fake there by Bunny Dummy, sending that one in, and another good goal out of Azure Esports. And so much of this does make it look like Team Atelier's defense is really suffering here. But I mean, that was an incredibly well-chosen fake there. That was a good goal out of it. And the last one as well, like you said, it was a shot that looked like it should have been stopped. But was it a shot that should have come at all? It looked like anybody would make a pass there, right? Anybody uses that backboard. But no, the decision was made well, and I think that's what's bringing Azure forward here. They're really surprising their opponents.
Swiftly tries to bring this ball round. The game already feeling cemented for Azure. They're trying to find everything they can now to really boost the morale and just get maybe some style points along the way. That either way, Atelier will be dropping this game. They will have to be coming back now in the series, maybe trying to tie it up after game number 4. Make it even is the best bet. A tough ass and Azure are really playing to their absolute best now. They have picked things up. They are playing better. Game number 1, a one-off situation. Azure are warmed up, ready to play.
Yeah, I mean, even game 2, they were looking a lot more like themselves, but game 3, they're totally on top of it as I say that. Team Atelier taking one for the road. 8 seconds left. There is a possibility of a kickoff goal here, but regardless, they cannot bring this one back in time. It's going to be Azure's game, and I think they've earned it well. I mean, not only are they displaying the skills that we know they're capable of, they're doing it under the pressure of that mental aspect of the game, of knowing that you lost so hard in that first game. It can be really defeating to some teams, particularly within Asia. We've seen it take effect over and over again. Azure Esports, it goes to the ground, and they do take their second win in game 3.
The second win in the series for Azure. 2-1 now. Pushing forward to try and make it free. Atelier keeping things close, but this game may be falling out of their hands a little bit more than they would have hoped. Coming into game number 4, something has to change for them. They've got to be more aggressive. They've got to try and force these errors from Azure. Something like what happened in game 1. But Azure, going to be a lot more sturdy in that backline, are not going to make it fall as easy.
Absolutely, and taking a look at the stats here, I mean, look at the shots out of Azure. It's been a game that has largely relied on one team being substantially worse in defense. I don't think that was the case this time. Azure and Team Atelier both playing pretty consistently there, but Azure probably playing that little bit above them that we were expecting. 3, 4, and 3 on the shots there. Claw Z taking out the most of them, but 1 goal each across the goal line there as a result. Pretty consistent across the players.
Very, very, very consistent. The scoreboard is like almost exactly even. The shot difference was about 10 shots to 5, but Atelier, they definitely have the capability to bring this back. Here we've got the Azure players, we've got the keyboard cam, we've got the wide angle shot of the whole room. You can even see the monitor. And we've got a normal camera after that.
Look how happy they are, beaming to be part of RLCS and to be in this match on top right now, and who can blame them? I mean, really were a huge surprise entry getting this far and showing exactly why. They have to be proud of that.
An early goal there from Australia just to break away was really what set the tone for this game. Atelier just struggling in the defensive department. This shot from Claus, though it probably should have been saved by that miss, was an insane shot. I feel like that was Zane who was so close to hitting it, but either way, some very good shots by Azure and Atelier. They can come back, and they need to in this game 4 in my opinion. If they lose game 4, I think they'll lose the series as a whole.
I have a question. Do you think that was the first fake goal we've had this regional? Because I haven't seen one on stream so far, and that was a beautiful one to start us off.
Yeah, it was a fun fake goal. It was nice to see as well. It absolutely ruined the defenders, but the question is, can they do it a little bit more? Atelier trying to start off in the strong foot. Into the back line and fight through now, but big clear away from Claus. It's up to Zane. And fight along the other side, but bullied around. That's on the line. Good save by Arya. Gerald Nathan out to the side, stole from a teammate, and Claus takes back control.
And it's going to look a lot more even here, I think. I think we're going to see some more consistent results here. I don't expect maybe that complete shutout on Atelier every game, but this is what we saw out of Azure last series. This is what we should be growing to expect from them, I think. And I think it's going to be a consistent lead from here on. I mean, even if my prediction's right there, Clausy, come on, what a shot to the backboard. Followed it and took it off of a redirect there as well. Insane work.
Sharon Aiden couldn't make it back in time to challenge. It was a free shot on net for Claw. 1-0 for Azure. They take an early lead, a minute gone by, but a team at Atelier quick off the kick-off, trying to find that redemption. Zane pass in centre. Oh, so close for Aria, but not enough. And then Squiggly going to go the whole length of the field, trying to take it the other way. On the line, it'll be Zane, but a clear off to the side. And Atelier struggling now to find this game, struggling to find this goal back. Plenty of time to do so, but Azure Esports making it an incredibly difficult task. Their defense on point now. They're getting the clears, they're getting that midfield on lock. But at the moment, they are having full control of this game.
Good setup here. Should be defended away by Team Atelier. It's worth saying that I think what's happening here is another very common thing that we see in Asia. I was asked before RLCS even started up by a player what they thought some of the most consistent problems within Asia were, some of the things that they should be looking at as a team. Now, I didn't say that they should look at what everybody in Asia was looking at. I think everybody has their own challenges, but one of the things that has been clear is that turnaround. It is the ability for teams to fairly easily get response goals off of good defense. And it's because Asia tends to struggle on that switch between aggressive and defensive rotation. And right now, I think Atelier are suffering from that as well, because even that first one, Azure, that got away so fast, but they have to be able to respond to something.
Well, Zane brings it in centre. That's a great chance for Aria. What a pass it was, an even better shot. And Atelier, half the game gone by, able to tie things up, and it just right over the defender, slotted in by Aria. What a duel those two have been in the striking department.
Yeah, and a great goal to really start, at least, to prove me wrong about my prediction that this will be the trend of wins from Azure. I honestly, I really hope they can prove me wrong. I want to see more of these guys because every game seems to be better, and we're yet to see anything absolutely insane yet, except for that first goal probably out of Azure this game. But that might be another one there. Clausy, what a redirect. An incredible pass up for that play as well.
That is a rocket on the net. Bunny Dummy brings it centre, and Claw the sniper sends it in. It was a good attempt by Jarnaden, but an incredibly difficult save to make. Azure Esports didn't let Atelier be tied for long. They quickly take the lead back.
And a really awkward kickoff here. Could spit out if they're not fortunate. Aria takes control so well, though. Look at those mechanics coming out of Aria Neal. We've seen them given fairly infrequently, but Aria has some insane ability to just get the ball and not let go of it at times.
Bringing it around the corner is Jarnaden, going to be a teammate to pass to. Aria will rise high. 50-50 off the sidewall. Working well in their favour for now, but Atelier, they're on that hunt. On that lookout for that opening, for that goal, but they've got to be careful. They're leaving their defense open quite a lot. They're pushing up a lot too far. They're making the saves, but things are getting a bit dicey for them. They need to be careful. They need to work on the rotation. That's a good chance by Zane, the pass in centre. Jarnaden will slot it in, and the game tied up once more.
And there it is again, exactly what I said. That turnaround from attack to defense turns into chaos. They just weren't ready for it. Azure this time on the receiving end of that chaos, and Atelier benefiting from it so well. What control out of these guys. An amazing way to even this game up for the second time.
Claw unable to get their touch on it. The game remains 2 apiece, a minute on the clock. A potential OT with this little time left. But that's a good chance, it's a high. Clausy, he scored 2 already, he could have made it a third. The follow-up shot from Bunny Dummy will not find the back of the net. But Atelier, their defense needs to become more solid. There's a big pinch away from Aria. Gets it upfield, but this is still dangerous. Oh, saved by Jarnaden. And a good clear by Aria. It gives them time, it gives them breathing room for Atelier. They can get a counter themselves. That's in centre, that's in the top corner, follow up, and it's going to be missed. Oh, yeah. Zane, that could have been an easy goal, but just barely slips by.
And Azure almost falling victim to it yet again. Their defense on that switch back to defense. A little bit of a shambles, but it fell apart for Atelier. And now they've got one more chance. It's 10 seconds until overtime. Can anything happen here? Claw Z is up with the ball right now. He's already scored one before, I believe, and been unable to do it again here. 0 seconds is upon us. It's off the backboard. Is anybody up for it? A great touch there out to a defensive position. Jarrell Nathan with no boost picks up one penny, puts it down. The 12 was enough, and overtime is upon us.
If Azure Esports win this OT, they will head to match point. If Atelier win it, we'll have a tied up series 2 apiece. Getting as close as we can get. Here's Jarrell Nathan to try and make that a reality. Able to get it past the defender just yet, but out to Aria it will go. That's a good touch to the backboard. Zane's follow-up will be defended well. Finds Bunny Dummy and Claws. Oh, a huge pinch towards net. It will go wide, but Jarrell Nathan counter-attack now. It is back and forth actually at the moment. Both teams pop shots to it whenever they can, and it's Atelier's turn for their chance.
We've seen Atelier turn this game around and even it up twice already, but it looks like they're not going to be able to do the same with the series as a long shot comes out here from Bunny Dummy. Jarrell Nathan just barely misreading the play. He wasn't able to turn it into a 50-50, let alone a beat. And that's enough to take the game for Azure again. And 9 shots coming out of Azure Esports.
9 shots to 5 in favour of Azure. Atelier kept it close, they got it to OT, but now as we get ready for game number 5, they've got to be thinking, what do we need to do differently? Something is going wrong. We have got to change something up, because currently, the match point is against them. They've got work to do if they want to win this series. They need to win 3 more games in a row against Azure, or else they will be eliminated.
Imagine how close those players are. I mean, if you look at those stats, there was only one stat difference between any of the 3 players on Azure there. They are performing all 3 of them across the field. I mean, we looked at those stats for the team and we saw how consistent it is. It's not because each player plays one role well. They all play every role, and that is kind of terrifying moving forward.
It's a lot of pressure now for the Atelier roster. 1 more game lost and they are eliminated after making it all the way to top 4. 1 more mistake and they will be gone. That's something they need to consider coming into this next game. They need to be as tight as possible in that backline. Get the shots off wherever they can. Make the plays, but the rotations are the issue. They need to be top tier. Have that man back. Have that man in the safety position. You can never be too safe, especially when your back is this much against the wall.
Yeah, I mean, it's that switchover. I mean, one man is enough when you're going to that solo play, but if the entire team comes up into aggression and your team isn't fast enough in switching back to that defensive mindset, to that defensive rotation, that's where you start to really struggle. I mean, look at that replay there. Claw Z, the only man beaten out originally, it was because nobody else got back quite in time. I mean, it might be a particularly bad example because it was incredibly tough to do, but that's the kind of thing we're talking about. I mean, with a little more time, they should be back and consistently at that back post, supporting each other. There was a player arriving at either side of the goal, and that's not exactly what you want to see.
Well, game number 5, potentially the last we will see of Atelier in this tournament. If the ball falls out to Aria, they want to try and change that. They were early for the chance, but it will not without a goal just yet. A good save in the line by Squiggly. Now it's Claw. Taking it upfield to Zane, the ball will travel. No boost in the tank to make it for the dunk. But Jarrell Nathan in centre. The big clear away, that's the net wide open. Is that going to be in? Off the post, risky. But that's the issue there. If that was on target, that's a goal for Azure already in the Atelier. They had nothing to do about it.
Great touch down by Squiggly, but it is going to go to Jarrell Nathan, who had enough boost to go up. I think he was faking having very little boost there, and he had a fair amount left in the tank as he grabs control of this again, trying to take that center, but it will be taken away by Squiggly now, getting under it nicely. A big flick, gets the acceleration on it, and finds that net.
Azure Esports 1-0 up. 1 minute gone by. Match point in their favour to make it to the finals. All they've got to do is win this game. And a fun fact about Azure Esports, they have never lost more than a game in a series so far. Will that be changed? Nathan's shot of the post is so unlucky for Atelier. So close but no cigar. Azure Esports keep their lead by the skin of their teeth.
Yeah, back to that backboard. Zane a good tap away, but Atelier need to not just have good defense here, they need to push out quickly. Aria trying to take that back into control, but it's going to center Nathan back just in time. They need to keep on this. They need to get the control back, not just push out, but do so safely. And it's not looking like they're going to be able to. Bunny dummy up, but won't be able to get onto that one. Will Nathan finally find a clear past the halfway point? No. Squiggly, a shot on net as well, as that came out of any control of Team Atelier for just a moment. Immediately there was a shot on.
That was a great attempt by Squiggly. It will not find the back of the net. Zane feeling fortunate to be able to get the dribble upfield. Team Atelier giving Azure way too much space. Look at this control that Azure have. Some good shots are coming out, some good saves are being made, but it doesn't matter if Atelier are getting no advancement up the field. Here's Nathan finally finding it, but once again, Nathan consistently being caught out with zero boost. A lot of the time we're seeing him here, he's just not able to find it to the ball because he's using too much boost. He's spending too much of that trying to make it back in rotations, and it's something Atelier will need to work on in these next events. Their rotations, this series in particular, have not been to the standard they need to be.
Much lower scoring game so far, though, out of the entire match here. One only there, a really close shot on goal there. Zane stepping up in defense. I called him their attacking half, but he does what he's needed to when it's asked for as well. And a really, really great save there, keeping them out of harm's way and keeping that buffer off of Azure. They don't want them to go to 2, or they have a much bigger struggle on their hands, but they need to get out of defense. They've been absolutely hammered with pressure the entire game, and now Squiggly looks to be able to put it back on again. 50 as well. Zane loses control of that as it goes to the backboard, and now it's going to be Claw Z letting that push out. A bad touch, though, will not result in Team Atelier losing control immediately, but they do only find it at that midline.
90 seconds for a chance at an extra life, a chance to make their way to the finals. Atelier, 1 goal down against Azure. They've got work to do to get the comeback. They're pushing the ball upfield now as Nathan off to the corner. He rises high for it, unable to get the touch as Bunny Dummy gets control, gets it away. Azure Esports, if they hold this lead, they will move on to the APAC South Regional 1 Grand Finals. But all they've got to do is hold. I say all they've got to do is a hard task, with Nathan coming in on the ball, takes it low, Bunny Dummy will barely catch that touch. The pressure remains on Azure. They just have to hold. They are expected to make it. One small mistake and that could be taken away, and Atelier could have another chance at redemption.
But it is that match point, and if this goes in, it might be the securer.
Whoa.
Squiggly finds it with 42 seconds left. That makes this near impossible, this comeback, especially in this low-scoring game. They've been barely able to get out of defense. Now they need 2, 1 each in 21 seconds of time. That's going to be really, really tough mark to make for Team Atelier. Of course, they're not going to give up. They have to push on this now. This is their only chance at the first regional finals of Asia. Nearly find it. Aria goes across net, but the defense wasn't available. It gets pinched out away from Zane. Squiggly sends it upfield as the clock continues to tick down.
The clock ticks down, 20 seconds on it. Atelier needs to score this shot if they want to have a chance, and they might just do it. Nathan to keep Atelier alive. 1 goal, 16 seconds. It is still possible. We could have a game 6 on our hands, but all Azure need to do is hold on till their life depends on it, and they will head to the final.
Yeah, used a little bit more than half the time they had there, but it doesn't matter as they're still in with a chance, and that's what they've got to be looking at here. They win the kickoff as well. They've got the pressure.
Zane? Oh, Zane, no!
It goes wide with 5 seconds left and control on Azure Esports. That's going to be it. That has to be the game. It goes away, and Azure Esports secure the series.
Oh, you've got to feel for Zane there. the pressure put on that man. That was the goal needed to win, and he hits it wide. Oh, I feel so bad for him, but if Atelier scored that, we would have had the EOT, but Azure, they survive, and they move on to the grand finals. Congratulations to them. They do it in 5, a 4-1 series, but Atelier, they didn't go down without a fight, but oh, that is such a sad ending.
And Squiggly stepping up at the end there. 5 goals on him there. 5 shots, sorry. 2 goals to his name. The only one to score for that game, and the only 2 they needed to take control of that match and put away the series. Incredible work out of Squiggly. And we talked about how incredible these guys are as a team, how consistent they are across their skill sets.